SpongeBob animation errors. Most of us have fond memories watching cartoons on Sunday mornings when we were younger, right? And we're also pretty sure that SpongeBob SquarePants is probably one of everyone's favorites. But this legendary show also had its funny flaws, and we have been searching for them. So get ready, because here are some animation errors and surprises that probably you didn't notice while watching SpongeBob SquarePants. Waiting. Who doesn't like the idea of receiving new presents? Well, in this episode, SpongeBob is in this situation, and what a great feeling. Let's take a look. During this whole episode, SpongeBob is waiting for the arrival of a new toy that he got after sending and eating 99 boxes of cereal called Kelpo. This is a really hard task for someone to do, but for SpongeBob is one more trial to face and accomplish. Let's take a look at this scene and see if he is able to eat all that cereal.
In the box tops? Before eating all the cereal? Gary, you are a genius!
If you look closely, after SpongeBob finishes eating the cereal, he has milk all around his lips. But after he finishes eating, he starts talking to Gary, and when the camera moves again, the milk is no longer on SpongeBob's face. Maybe the animators forgot about this little milky incident for a second, but this is not the only funny error we found in this episode. Let's continue on.
Want to do some karate?
No, I'm busy.
This might be hard to catch at first glance, so we will give you some information so it's easier to see. Karate gloves have been a recurring item during Sandy's appearance in the whole series, because we all know that she loves martial arts, and probably there's no better squirrel at it in the whole world. Strangely enough, Sandy's gloves in this episode are red, while the other times we see her wearing these gloves are green. Maybe it's just a coincidence that she's wearing SpongeBob's gloves during this episode, but we found it really funny. Oh, and even though Patrick broke SpongeBob's toy, the episode had a happy ending after all. Chimps Ahoy! Talking about Sandy, did you know that she is one of the best inventors in Bikini Bottom's depths? That's what the episode Chimps Ahoy is all about. Like we said, Sandy is one of the best inventors, but let's take a look at this scene of the episode where Patrick tries to follow the squirrel's profession and tries to be an inventor himself. Enjoy it.
I've invented a parallel universe!
That's a mirror, Patrick. It's already been invented.
Oh, somebody keeps stealing my ideas!
Well, I thought it was a pretty good idea.
Have you found anything strange? If you look at the moment where SpongeBob is looking at himself in the mirror, his reflection isn't wearing his safety helmet. This is really cool to find. This helmet is a very important item in the whole series, because without it, our protagonists won't be able to survive inside Sandy's house. The Fry Cook Games. Are you ready to see the most important sports competition in Bikini Bottom's history? Much like we have the Olympics, the Fry Cook Games are Bikini Bottom's version of sports' most important competition. But it wouldn't be as important if SpongeBob and his friends didn't participate in it, right? For sure, they will be the show's star participants once more. Maybe you were not concentrating enough while watching this scene of the episode, but we found something strange here. Let's take a look at it, focusing on the people watching the competitions. Did you notice something? There are some replicants of the blue fish that are watching this compilation of sports. If you look close enough, you might discover that there are various of the same fish in the stand. What a strange moment. But this is not the only one we found here. Let's jump into the next scene.
Pinky.
Almonds? Curse him, that's good. But perhaps a bit too highbrow for this crowd. He thinks he's better than them!
This is really hard to notice, but if you look at the moment where Plankton is moving closer to Patrick, he is talking, but there's a moment where his lips are not moving while he's talking. It's a really hard one, but funny nonetheless. Squidward in Clarinetland. Have you ever heard about Clarinetland? Well, if you haven't, SpongeBob has you covered. In this strange episode, we find Squidward discovering the weird world of Clarinetland, a separated universe from Bikini Bottom that he encountered inside Mr. Krabs' Navy locker. This trip to recover Squidward's clarinet is filled with strange moments and creatures of the fantastic world of Clarinetland and the Horned Forest. One of the most memorable ones is the bald eagle that Squidward encounters at the end of the episode. Let's watch it together.
Appreciate your tone.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you.
This is a sacred place where clarinets can live without persecution. You need to learn respect.
This moment brings with itself a really funny animation error. Maybe hard to find though, but we trust in yourselves, and with a second look we will find them together. When the eagle is talking to Squidward while having him wrapped with his tongue, there's a moment where Squidward's eyes move and go to the back of his head. Maybe he's so scared of this eagle that his eyes couldn't stand watching that monster any longer. Or maybe it's just a common thing in the mysterious land of the clarinets. We will never know unless we also use Mr. Krabs' locker. The Way of the Sponge. We talked about Sandy before, right? Let's take a look at this ode to karate in the magnificent episode, The Way of SpongeBob. In this episode, SpongeBob works his way into becoming a black belt in karate. But much like in an old martial arts film, the way of the sponge is not easy to follow. But to achieve this, SpongeBob will have to pass the tests of Sandy's old master, Fuzzy Acorns, who seems to be the best martial artist to ever live. In the end, both SpongeBob and Sandy got their talent as martial artists recognized, but let's check these final moments of the episode.
Fuzzy! Fuzzy! You look terrible!
Okay,
Sandy, what's wrong with Fuzzy?
I know what he needs. He just needs this.
no more talk.
Have you found something strange? It is a really fast moment, but there's a moment where Sandy gets duplicated. This is probably one of the hardest ones to find so far, but it's a really cool one. Skill Crane. We all associate Squidward with his great talent as a musician and his effort as SpongeBob's best friend. But what about him driving and using a crane? Did you expect that? Well, Skill Crane is that episode. But much like every other episode we analyze, we found a small error in that episode. Probably you didn't notice at first. But have you looked closely at the workers that were aiding SpongeBob and Squidward while they were using the crane? This might be a great clue because if you look at one of those fishes, you can find that his trousers change from brown to white in 2 consecutive scenes. We also like to give secondary characters a chance, so we thought that this was a cool one to highlight them. Blackjack. Who doesn't have an annoying relative that used to ruin our family reunions? Well, here we present you to Blackjack. Blackjack is SpongeBob's distant cousin, and in this episode, our yellow squared hero thinks that he has kidnapped his parents. What a bad familiar this Blackjack is. After being released from prison, Blackjack pays a visit to SpongeBob's parents, and he even challenges SpongeBob to a wrestling match for the safety of Bob's mom and dad. Will our hero win? Let's watch some moments of the episode to find this out.
That tickles.
Just like the old days, eh, cousin?
Yeah, Blackjack. You haven't changed a bit.
Well, if you haven't got enough of Blackjack, we'll show you this super special moment. If you watch closely, when Blackjack shrinks and SpongeBob looks like a huge spongish giant, something seems to have changed in our protagonist's outfit. Any clues on that one? Well, there's a moment where suddenly SpongeBob's belt disappears from his pants, only to come back a few moments later. Maybe this was a way to demonstrate that SpongeBob doesn't need a belt to win against his evil cousin. Or maybe the animators forgot about this trademark part of Bob's outfit. Who knows? Well, there you have it. These are some cool animation errors that you can find in SpongeBob SquarePants. If you enjoy this kind of content, please leave a like on our video so we can provide you with even more fantastic moments from the adventures of Bikini Bottom's most famous hero. Until the next time, goodbye!